video is not intended for children. Viewer discretion is advised.
If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Greetings, one and all, and welcome to Mornings of Mischief. I'm your host, Stone Loki. Good morning to Chris Persia. Good morning to Mark Danville. Tired. The Bash Brother Wrenches are here. Good morning, Psychodorf 9. Good morning to Derek McManus, Pod Racing, Palpatine, Snorta, Poopus, Cuber. Try saying that 3 times fast, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Purple Valkyrie. Good morning to Keely Chow. Roll Tide, Keely, Roll Tide. Arwen Avalon. Good morning, Brightest Day. Good morning. Good morning, Dave G. Sound. Good morning, everybody. Colin P. Smith. How are you doing, Colin? Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are having a great Thursday so far. We are almost at the end of the week. Sultan Al Fahim, good morning. Pat S., good morning. What does Pat say? Loki, I'm telling you, this is for your own good. That's the worst Duncan sweater I've ever seen. That's a Cosby sweater. A Cosby sweater. Did Laura let you leave the house like that? Oh shit. Good morning, guys. Good morning. And yeah, some crazy shit. We're going to talk about Cosby. We're going to talk about Allison Mack this morning. 2 big things that happened yesterday. Of course, Cosby getting released from prison was the bigger one. Okay, so yes, they overturned the charges. Is he innocent? That's a big ass question. Is he innocent? Do you guys think he's innocent? Do you guys think there was no wrongdoing? I'm gonna tell you what I think. But the big thing is there was an agreement. Yes, it's because of a loophole. There was an agreement that was made. Purple Valkyrie says nope. Anybody else? Everyone in prison will tell you they're innocent. That's right, Derek McManus. I used to joke about that when I worked at a prison. It wasn't me. It was the one-armed man. Yes. No. Andrew 46-2, no physical evidence, besides him admitting it. I don't even have good cheesecake in prison. Nope. Arwen Avalon, nope. He did it and should do his time. Guilty. Puddin' Pop is guilty. Guilty. Larry. No. For Cosby, I hear a giant check. He's a distraction. Psychodorf9 with a $2 super chat. Thank you so very much, brother, for that $2 super chat. You guys keep the fires burning bright here in Valhalla. Keely Chow, no. Arwen Avalon, Puddin' Pop. Only innocent guy in prison, Andy Dufresne. So, what happened here? Why it happened was there was a deal in 2015 with prosecutor on a civil case. And he told Cosby, if you will sit and talk to me about all of this, I will make sure that it doesn't turn into a case against you later. You sit and you talk to me about this and you tell me what's going on, and it stays a civil case. And that was the district attorney, Bruce L. Castor Jr. At the time, he had declined to charge Cosby over the matter. Cosby sat in the disposition in a separate lawsuit. Castor's decision was overturned, though, when he went to trial. So they did it anyway. They decided to use what he had given them, which was his admission that in the past he had given quaaludes to women. So this was a verbal deal. This was a verbal deal. And when they talked to him in pretrial, he admitted this. So why this was never brought up during trial, that's a big thing, guys. That's a big thing. He sat in pretrial and talked about this. So the judge knew. The judge in the case knew that this deal had been made. This verbal contract had been made between the prosecutor in the civil case. So his conviction was overturned because they said it violated Cosby's rights by reneging on the promise not to charge him. So he had originally said that he wasn't going to charge Cosby to prevent him from invoking his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination, so he would have to testify in the civil case. So in 2016, when Cosby's defense attorneys were trying to get the case thrown out, they called Castor as a witness at the pretrial. And he then testified that he believed that there wasn't enough evidence to prove her accusations beyond a reasonable doubt. And he defended his decision to make the deal with Cosby. His quote, "I decided that we would not prosecute Mr. Cosby, and that would set off a chain of events that will get some justice for Andrea Constant." So the Supreme Court, when they saw this, they said there was no formal agreement, there was no written agreement, but he had testified to this. So at the end of the day, they said he made the deal. They have to uphold the deal. Is this justice? ladies and gentlemen, do you believe this was justice? Arwen Avalon, no, but he testified in court, which is almost just as good. But no written agreement, no nothing. This is a verbal agreement, and the Supreme Court held to it. Is this justice, ladies and gentlemen? Solana Fahim, no. Catman D.D. Myers, not one bit. Mark the Infinitely Tired, justice is blind but greedy. One rule for one and another for the rest of us. Do you believe that if Cosby wasn't who he was, this would have never gone before the Supreme Court? That I believe. If he wasn't famous, this would have never gone before the Supreme Court. No, hell no, Pod Racing Palpatine. No, it's not. Purple Valkyrie. Justice, probably not, but it does sound as if the system failed. Basically, this was a contract law decision. Yes, he admitted it. Yes, he did. Hell to the no, Arwen Avalon. Psychodorf 9, Cosby's supposed to be a religious man. I want to listen in on his judgment there. Yes. Pat S. The problem is everybody doing what they want to do. Cosby did what he wanted to do. The DA and the judge did what they wanted. The one color that matters, green. Money. And that's what it usually comes down to. Money. Who is this person? Money, fame, fortune. Definitely not glory. We have a system whether one likes it or not, and when those that are supposed to know the rules conveniently change them and renege on deals made to prevent self-incrimination, then system will fail. Beautifully put, Dead Man Walking 55. Oh, I still do. D.D. Myers. I still do. I originally had I don't know what you would call it, not a flattering thumbnail up, and I changed it. I put this up about 10 o'clock last night, and because I want to talk about Cosby, and I want to talk about Allison Mack, because the Nick Seam story is absolutely insane. I'm not supporting him by my previous statement. I want to make that very clear. No, I understand that, Dead Man Walking 55. Absolutely. There's also the fact that the justice system in the U.S. works a bit differently from the U.K.'s. That's true. That's true. No two justice systems are exactly alike. I'm just waiting for his Netflix deal. Yeah, that'll happen. The story of the century. What happened to Bill Cosby in prison? Cosby willingly admitted to 80 charges in order to mitigate full culpability and diminish sentencing. This is a miscarriage of justice. He deserves to rot in a dark, windowless cell. Oh, you're cool, brother. Hell yeah. Difference between civil and criminal court and rules of evidence. The case could never be proven in criminal court. That is why PA prosecutor refused to prosecute back in 2005. He needed Cosby's testimony. And Cosby gave his testimony under the understanding that he would never go to trial in a criminal case. I'm not supporting the man, but his Fifth Amendment right was taken from him, so his rights were violated. Andrew 46 and 2. They've said for a long time that money buys justice, but this is on the trial judge for letting this go to trial. This looked like an easy overturn on appeal to begin with. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. And Dead Man Walking hits the nail on the head here. They knew in pretrial the judge was there just like everybody else. He heard the testimony of Castor. He knew from the beginning that a deal had been made, that a verbal agreement was made to get Bill Cosby's testimony. And that verbal agreement was that it would never go to a criminal trial. He did not have enough evidence to convict in a criminal trial. This tipped the scales, but this was promised by a prosecutor never to go to trial. Not a criminal trial anyway. So were his rights violated? That's what the Supreme Court had to decide. But that judge needs to go. That there's not an if, and, or but about it. The judge needs to go. Loki, didn't a certain football player get acquitted at the criminal level but convicted at civil, which I understand requires a lower level of proof? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Most people know who that is. Ultimate Hollywood sin. He got caught. He got caught. This, ladies and gentlemen, to me, was the biggest shocking, oh my God, what the hell? Not Cosby. There's no damn way. I remember when I first heard about all of this crap, I was like, there's no way. It's Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was never the person he pretended to be. Bill Cosby is not Huxtable. He is not the guy from the Bill Cosby show. That is not who he is. He is not the guy in his movies. He is not the comedian that was up on stage. He is not the guy that called another comic and said, you've got to stop cursing on your show. You've got to stop using those words on your show. That is not who Bill Cosby is. He's not Fat Albert. None of them are. We see them on TV. We see them in the movies. We go to the halls to hear them be comics, to hear them make us laugh. But that is not who these people are. That is an act. They are actors. It is their job to act. It is their job to make you think they're someone else. That is what they do for a living. They are not these people. But we have come to think they are. We have seen these movies and we have seen them as villains and heroes, and we think, man, we watched them for decades. Of course we know them. No. 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 These are not the people we know. Were they ever true heroes to begin with? Matt Cave. That's the question. Were they ever true heroes to begin with? That is the point I'm trying to make. There are people in our lives that affect us. There are people in our lives that extend a hand when we are down. Is that the same thing as being on TV? You know, I hear something all the time. This was here for me when I was in a bad place. Star Trek. Star Trek was there for me in a time in my life when I was in a bad place. That doesn't make Patrick Stewart Picard. That doesn't make Jonathan Frakes Will Riker. It's just a character they played on a TV. No matter how much we may want them to be those heroes and to uphold those ideals that our heroes do, doesn't mean that they are. As a society, we have come to watch these people and think they're heroes because they're heroes in a movie. I used to think Arnold Schwarzenegger was the baddest son of a bitch on the planet. He's not. He's got his own demons. He's a human being. Mad Tiberius. At least Cosby can help OJ search for the real killer now. Yes. Arwen Avalon. Yes. The truth is, he was a working actor who was very good at his job. And why is that? Why is that? Because the second I heard about all of this, I said, there's no way. It's Cosby. There's no way. There's no way. America's dad, no fucking way. He's very good at his job. Sagador of 9 with $5 super chat. If you pretend to be a thing, you eventually become that thing. Choose wisely. I got to get that clip from Raiders now. Thank you so very much, Psychodorf 9, for both of those super chats. You guys keep the fires burning bright here in Valhalla. Skol!
Spartans! What is your profession?
Thank you so much, Psychodor. So, at the end of the day, this has happened. It came out of nowhere. Nobody saw it coming. People are rushing to cover it. What the whys, the whens, the hows. This is something that the trial judge should have addressed at the very beginning. And he didn't. And some kind of punitive action needs to be taken. You heard this in pretrial and you still let this happen. You still decided that this was a good idea, knowing that at the end of the day, all of this could very likely be overturned. You wasted everyone's time. You wasted taxpayer dollars, millions of dollars, because this was a giant ass circus. This was a circus that carried on and on and on. This is on the trial judge. Cosby getting off. This is on the trial judge. And Dave Bob, yes, we are getting there next. Allison Mack only got 3 years because she was sorry. She wanted to get off without any jail time. What she did should have had a stiffer penalty, up to 40 years. Dave Bob, up to 40 years. You're talking about for what she did, the crime she committed, up to 40 years. They said more likely it would be 3 to 17, three with a max to 17. So apparently at the end of the day, she gave testimony against this guy. And while people still stand by him and worship him like he is a god, others don't. Rainier is a messed up individual. $20,000 fine and 1,000 hours of community service. She won't do 3 years. I'm telling you that right now. 14 to 17 was recommended. Yes, with a maximum of 40 years. Nah. It won't be Clark Kent. It'll be the justice system. They're going to let her out. She's not going to do 3. She won't do 3. She might do a year. She might do a year and a half. And her former wife, I guess, I don't know. I don't know how that dynamic worked with them two. Chick that played Callie off of Battlestar Galactica. She was married to her, and she pulled her into this Nixium network, and she did not get charged. Her wife, whatever partner, did not get charged, and has been worshiping at the altar of the prison to get him released. So this was all due to her cooperation with government. So, quote, in the last 3 years, Allison Mack has turned her life around and earnestly dedicated herself to rehabilitation, reunification of Keith Raniere and those who supported him in making amends. She is now well on her way to once again being a productive member of society. No. No. Since being freed from the twisting influence of Raniere, Miss Mack has redevoted herself to pursuing a positive and constructive life, which she's never going to have, centered around the 3 pillars of family, education, healing. Why the fuck are people always bringing up pillars? The pillars. We're pillars of the community. We have the 7 pillars of the horned rat. We have, oh, dude, I'm tired of hearing about pillars, SJWs and their pillars. Prosecutors noted the assistance that she provided to them and the judge on the Nixium case. So Raniere, obviously, Raniere and Mack were arrested in 2018. It was a self-help group that did classes, sought after, all the rich and famous wanted to be a part of this, except for some very smart people that were like, man, it kind of sounds like a cult. Kind of sounds a little culty. But they did get a whole bunch of very powerful, very influential, and very rich people. There was a secret organization called DOS, D-O-S. Master over slave women is what it translated to in Latin. This was led by Mack, who recruited and commanded women in the group to providing collateral. Okay, so when I mean collateral, I'm talking about videotapes. I'm talking about financial records. I'm talking about nasty things they did, incriminating evidence admitted on like a video on your phone, whatever it was. Mack's job was to recruit and get them to provide anything they needed to control these women. And then get a hold of their financial assets. So they can't leave. You can't leave. Once you're in, you're in. Then they proceeded to brand them. Now, I think this is what really, 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 this was like the big N-O, N-O, no, 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 no. They had them on starvation diets. They had them pledging to do things with Raniere, and they physically isolated them. So they'd just be stuck. There's nothing they could do. Raniere obviously was sentenced to life in prison after the conviction on what they were doing and other disturbing charges. The judge did comment Mac's involvement and said, when it comes to DOS and the monstrous crimes Rainier committed in connection with that organization, you were an essential accomplice. This is him talking to Mac. You willingly enslaved, destabilized, and manipulated other women so that then when they were at their most vulnerable, when they believed that they owed you total obedience and that anything less than that would cause them serious personal and financial harm, when you had taken from them their sense of agency to make their own choices, you gave them special assignments to satisfy Mr. Rainier. Mr. Rainier could not have done this without you. You did that together. The evidence presented at this trial demonstrated that you were not a begrudging or passive enabler, but rather that you were a willing and proactive ally. A willing, proactive ally. Now, he gets life imprisonment. She gets 3 years. The judge is saying you did this side by side with him willingly. You were proactive about it. You were happy to do it. Oh, yeah, let's get him in here and let's get him branded. Branded. God, can you imagine that? Do you, in your opinion, chat, do you believe this woman should have the same sentence as her co-conspirator? Because the way the judge is talking, like he said, I'll say it again, Mr. Rainier could not have done this without you. You did this together. The evidence presented at his trial demonstrated that you were not a begrudging or passive enabler, but rather that you were willing and proactive ally. Arwen Avalon, she was used as a soft sell. A woman can use those nurturing skills to break down defenses, and that is just all kinds of evil to other women. The you know what? Guys can be mean and guys can shoot their mouth off and guys can be dicks, but damn, the shit some women do to other women, I'm just like, damn. No, I think they should both fry. Broken Entertainment. Mark Dimbley Tired, yes. Larry, not life, but 120-year sentence. Catman, a.k.a. D.D. Myers, yes. Women do this crap to other women all the time, and the media quietly says nothing. Yes, she was willing and did what she was asked, Purple Valkyrie. Yes, she should be right next to him as anyone else involved in the cult. They knew what they were doing. Chris Persia, you become a YouTube no-no. Took me 3 attempts to say something. First 2 came back error. Oh, we're talking to Eris of Chaos. Okay. Good morning, Eris of Chaos. And men as well. She should have gotten the 40 years. That's all the law allowed for her conviction. Dave Bob. One-on-one, I don't have to like it, but rounding up the stable is so much worse. So 3 mitigating factors the judge took into consideration when sentencing Matt. There's 3 mitigating factors. First, your lawyers make a persuasive case that you, like the victims of your conduct, were tied in Mr. Rainier's coercive and manipulative web. I'm going to read that again. Her lawyers made a persuasive case that Mac, like the victims, were ensnared by Rainier's coercive and manipulative web. Second, you have expressed remorse. This is where Dave Bob says, hey, she said she was sorry, right? That fixes everything. You have expressed remorse. That's what her lawyers got her to do. That's all lawyer right there. Don't even, both of these are lawyers. You're lawyers. You paid very, very rich people to convince me. That's all that is money, ladies and gentlemen. Money, 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 money. Because I guarantee you, her lawyers got her to look and sound remorseful. This is what you need to say. This is how you need to say it. This is what you need to look like. This is what you need to wear. Down to her fucking socks, ladies and gentlemen. I guarantee you, down to her socks, that is what happened. Why? Because she paid very, very expensive lawyers to take this case. You have expressed remorse and contrition and made significant progress towards rehabilitating yours. She hasn't rehabilitated anything. She hasn't been rehabilitated. She hasn't gone to jail yet. And I see no reason to doubt that your efforts and your progress are sincere. I do. Do you know why, Judge? Do you know why Loki has serious fucking doubts? Because she convinced people to do this. Have any of you ever seen Inside You with Michael Rosenbaum? Michael Rosenbaum is a gentleman who played Lex Luthor in Smallville, the show that Allison Mack was on back in the day. I love this guy. I absolutely love this fucking guy. I love what he does. He has a show on YouTube called Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. And he talked about Allison Mack showing up and trying to convince him to do this, showing up out of the blue. And he's like, hey, what's going on? And her and this other chick and this guy, and how they came in his house like they fucking owned the place, and how he was really creeped out, and how he had almost gone to one of these and was like, no, man, it really sounds kind of cultish. And he didn't. But he understood by what it sounded like, why people would want to do it. Oh, it's like a positivity thing, gets you all positive, gets you believing that you can do anything. And then they do this with the women. But this sentence right here, and I see no reason to doubt. There's every reason to doubt. There's every fucking reason to doubt. She was convincing people she supposedly cared about to be a part of this. People in her life, people around her. She knew the score. She knew the score, and she still convinced people to join up and be a part of this. Bullshit. I'm glad Dee Dee Myers, Michael Rosenbaum's kick-ass guy. If you guys haven't seen, I think it was Pastor or something. I can't remember. All Pastor, Ab Pastor, whatever. Absolutely wonderful, fucking funny show. I laughed my ass off. I great guy. Anyway, and she assisted the government. And that's one thing. Okay, that is one thing I will agree with. You shorten her sentence, but not 3 years. Not 3 years. I'm sorry. You give her a dime. You give her a damn dime. People have gotten a dime for stealing a car. Now, you tell me how this makes sense, ladies and gentlemen. People get 10 years for stealing a car. 10 years. Probably out in 5, but they get a dime to a nickel for stealing a car. This bitch was going out and beating him. Fresh women. Not just one, not just two. She was bringing in women and getting evidence to blackmail them. Blackmail them. And she was eager to do it. She was eager. She was thriving on this. Arwen Avalon nailed it. Right there. Yes. Yes. She is just as big a part of this as he is. Now, was she fooled? Perhaps. Did she get hoodwinked? Perhaps. Did he have something on her? Perhaps. But she did the deed eagerly. I used to have this saying. A person would do it with a smile on their face and a song in their heart. There's a difference. There's a huge difference between doing something out of necessity and doing something with a smile on your face and a song in your heart. When you are absolutely positively happy to do something and it is a bad thing, your ass deserves to go to jail. That's the difference. And that's the difference here with her. She was more than happy to do it. And yes, Mad Tiberius from I loved Smallville. I loved the show. I watched it till the very end. You're seeing Chloe, not Allison. And those are two different people. No, Trinoculus P, they got caught. No, they got caught and picked up in the middle of the night. He had her and her wife and another woman, the Bourbon heiress or whatever the hell she is. She's the Seagram's heiress. I can't remember her name right now, but of the Seagram's fortune, I believe. Don't quote me on that. Allison called her involvement with Nixium the biggest mistake and the greatest regret of her life. I am sorry I ever exposed you to the nefarious and emotionally abusive schemes of a twisted man. So one of the survivors wrote, "Today is bittersweet. For one, we've seen justice being upheld, however complicated and emotional it might be. I'm very grateful and proud of everyone who has participated. The reality of our choices, survivors of Nixium and DOS, both within the group and during the aftermath, has said a lot about people's true nature. It has not been an easy road, nor has recovering and putting my life back together. Since leaving, I've wished and prayed over the past couple of years that the truth will shine brighter than lies and that those who have been and continue to be trapped by Rainier's devastating and dangerous world be free of him, both mentally and physically. For some that has happened, and for others it hasn't, and that's out of my control. The only thing I can do is share the truths of what I've learned in the hope that it helps others stay safer and become more aware. To not live fearfully, but to live armed with the ability to see through manipulation in individuals and groups. This month has been very revealing for me personally, and I've had to confront a lot of memories that were dormant while writing my victim impact statement for Allison Mack's sentencing. Many of those memories I've not wanted to revisit, but I have found clarity from looking directly at them rather than through nightmares, having insomnia, or feeling paralyzed by a pending outcome that I can't control. The statement I wrote is very personal and a challenge in itself to write. I leaned greatly on my closest friends and family to support me through this time and help take what I was feeling on the inside and make it comprehensible. It will be read on my behalf in court after great consideration and taking my own mental health as a priority for closure. My hope is that, my hope, God, Lord, I'm very sorry. My hope is that in writing it, I could really release these memories and move forward. I know healing has layers, and this layer was a significant part in moving forward. I hope that this sentencing is an example of accountability. And although I know many of us do not receive the justice we deserve, I hope this can feel like a shared victory and that people will be moved to act and speak rather than allowing themselves to be silenced out of fear or judgment or shame. In exposing the truths and not being silenced, we can learn to heal and learn to love and appreciate the lives we fought for. I most certainly feel compelled to live mine as fully as possible, even when things feel difficult and challenging. It helps me to remember how grateful I am to be on the other side of this and to have incredible family and friends who have helped me know and rediscover what love is and what it is not. Thank you, India Oxenberg. And that was her statement after the sentencing. I've still got, did she report him? No, Allison Mack did not report him. She got caught. Tanaga's piece, she gathered prey for him. She looked the other way from the suffering of those she entrapped. The Svengali defense falls on the floor. She imitates the Nuremberg defendants more than a poor misled. Yes. Chloe also subjected Clark to roadkill tonight. I blame Allison for that. All we can do is not watch their shows, not buy their sponsors' products, and stop giving them positive attention. Why have I not covered the Loki show? If anybody should be covering the Loki show, it should be Loki, right? I mean, you would think Stone Loki's going to rip and tear through all this shit like tissue paper. And I'm not talking about it. I'm not covering it. I'm not going to review it because I'm not going to give them any attention. I'm not going to give them clicks. I'm not going to make thumbnails having their people on the cover of them. I'm just not going to do it. Sounds like my services are in demand. Gologo13 with the $2 super chat. Thank you so very much, Gologo13. You guys keep the fires burning bright here in Valhalla. Skol!
And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brother.
For the sake of sanity here, you had two outcomes. Neither one of them, I believe, justice was served. When does the letter of the law override justice? Justice is blind. Justice is blind. There's a reason justice is blind. A Dega outlaw. From the words of that victim, paraphrased, in order to heal, you must stand up, speak up, and don't kneel to those who would control you. Yes. I couldn't have said it better myself. A Dega outlaw. Stand up, speak up, don't kneel. Arwen Avalon, and yet feminists see her as a victim, which contradicts their view that women are empowered and have autonomy, which of course they do. It's so twisted. Sagadorf 9 with another $2 super chat. Stay away from the show. It's already horrible. Yes, I know. I've seen it. I'm just not going to review it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to give them the clicks. I'm not going to put their name up on the damn thumbnail. Ain't going to happen. In an age where we've had Me Too, where we've had all men must die, where we've had toxicity, where we've had all of these things, you've got a woman, by her own admission and by the judge's admission, that eagerly pursued other women to almost feed them, to someone that she had dedicated her life to. Not just a love, not just someone she cared about, not a boss, someone she had dedicated her entire life to. She was not handcuffed. She was not shackled. She was not brought in against her will. She was not blackmailed. She went out and did those things. Mexican Iron Man with a $4.99 super chat. Adega and Loki's Thursday shows have given us glimpses of the horror and hypocrisy of Hollywood. Yes, the depth of it. Have no illusions. These people are not like you. They are not like me. They have their own compass, and it's not like ours. I don't think it starts out that way. I just think it ends up that way. No, she was not branded. No, she's the one who did the branding. She's the one who did the branding. For those of you who don't know that, these women were branded. They were branded with his mark, usually on the pelvic area. She was not. Her ex-wife, Allison Mack's ex-partner, wife, whatever, they got married. Chick played Callie on Battlestar Galactica. This woman is still worshiping at the altar of Rainier outside the prison. And there are others that still worship him as a god. Arwen Avalon, you don't brand the number one. And that's exactly what she was. She was his number one. She was his number one. Yes, Mexican Iron Man. She was married. Allison Mack was married to Callie on Battlestar Galactica, the actress who played Callie. That woman is still worshiping outside the cell. I'll see if I can bring something up real quick before I get out of here. No charges were brought against her. Nikki Klein. Klein is a member, was a member of NXIVM. Let's see. According to federal court records of NXIVM founder Keith Rainier's 2019 trial, Klein was identified by a government witness to be a part of Rainier's inner circle or first line masters, but was not charged as a co-conspirator on any of the federal charges that were brought against Rainier, her wife, or other inner circle members. Now, some people have suggested that Allison gave them something to keep her out of jail, that a deal was made. I don't know if that's true or not, ladies and gentlemen. I have no idea whether that's true or not, but that was the rumor, was that Allison gave them something to keep her out of prison. Rainier had fled the United States months earlier. Klein inadvertently revealed his location by posting an Instagram picture at a local beach. The group had been planning a recommitment ceremony prior to Rainier's arrest. In July 2020, Klein and other NXIVM members launched an activist group, We Are As You, a movement in which a nightly dance was held outside a metropolitan detention center where Rainier was being housed to cheer up prisoners who were unable to have visitors due to the pandemic. The movement faced backlash from former NXIVM members for using the Black Lives Matter hashtag on its social media post and questioning why the movement only targeted the prison where Rainier is located and how it could serve as a possible attempt to recruit new members. September 2020, 1 month before he was sentenced to 120 years, Klein spoke out in defense of Rainier in an interview with CBS this morning. Footage of Klein was used in season 1 of HBO documentary series The Bow, and unsupported rumors have surfaced that she will be in the second season. On December 11, 2020, Mack filed for divorce from Klein. They had admitted before all of this that they had used the marriage as a way to keep her in the country. That was something they had used as a way to keep her. Yes, airlock Callie. Yes, that Callie. That's why she left Mexican Army. Did you know that? That's why she left Battlestar Galactica, is she got caught up in Nixium. That is why she left. That's what she asked the producers contract her out. She was contracted to be on that show. And she actually went to the heads and said, I want out of my contract. Can you kill me off? And she left. That is why Callie got airlocked. That is why Callie got airlocked, is because she went to them and said, I want out. And then later she married Allison Mack so that they could keep her in the country so she wouldn't get deported. That is how that happened. Yes, Catman. And it's one of the things they never talked about. It's one of the, why did Callie, oh, they had this plan. You know, remember the plan? No, that was not the plan. That was not the plan. Callie leaving at that point in time, that was not the plan. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming and listening to this today. I do not believe justice was served in either case, but I'm not the blind justice. Why do we have blind justice? So people aren't hauled out and burned at the stake. So that innocent people aren't burned at the stake is why we have blind justice. And sometimes they are anyway, and sometimes guilty people go free. And that's the horrible part of the system we have. Echo Base Network. Thank you so much, guys. Good morning, gentlemen. Hail to our brother Loki and everyone in chat. Hail to you guys. Thank you so very much for that $5 super chat. And a big thank you to Psychodorf 9, to Mexican Iron Man. You guys, go 13, all of you. Thank you all so very much for the super chats. You guys keep the fires burning bright here in Valhalla, and we're going to set another fire before we get out of here. Skol! And good morning to Real Wad Nation. Good morning, Real Wad Nation. Good morning to Echo Base. Good morning to Nearsighted Cyclops. Nearsighted Cyclops. If people forget, police are more to protect the criminals from mob justice. We need a plate cleanser, boss. Greetings, Starfighter. You have been recruited by the Star League to defend the frontier against Zur and the Kodan Armada. Indeed, brother. Absolutely. Dun 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 dun. So, guys, remember one thing, and that's what I always say. It's what I always say. Be excellent to each other. Be excellent to each other. That's all. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. It's not a hard thing to do. Be excellent to each other. Some bad shit. While I don't think justice was served, it's justice. And there's a reason why the system is the way it is. And the people out there that demand that you take responsibility for someone else's actions, that you deal with the consequences of all these other people doing something. That is why I'm glad we have this system in place, so that you don't have to pay the price for something that happened 200 years ago that you didn't have anything to do with. Be excellent to each other. Thank you all so very much for being here. Take care, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning.